welcome back to the dinner table. I'm your host as always, Nick, joined by my father, Mike.
Hello, everyone.
And we are continuing our discussion of Mr. James Bond. We're in, I guess, my era of Bond, really, realistically.
Yeah. This is the era of Bond for me where I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to some of it.
Yeah.
So...
And this is, my teenage years were Brosnan, but and I paid attention to a lot of those. But we're going to start though with Timothy Dalton, which was a blind spot for me.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I don't think I'd ever seen either one of those movies.
Yeah, but we sat down and watched The Living Daylights. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very good. I think that whole thing of Timothy Dalton not being good is just wrong.
I'd always heard that. I always heard that he only did 2 movies because he wasn't very good. I think he was one of the better of the
easily
3 or 4 that we've talked about. He's pretty darn good, and I wish he'd have made more.
Well, the reason he only did 2 was they were sued. Someone sued United Artists over the ownership of the movie rights for the films, and it got locked into litigation for years. So by the time 94 came around for GoldenEye, he was supposed to do GoldenEye in, I think, 1991 or 92. By the time it came to that, he was doing other things. He's a very good actor.
Moved on, yeah.
And he kind of moved on. So they asked him, said, hey, you want to do this? He said, yeah, but I only want to do that one. And they said, well, we've had a hiatus. We'd like you to stay for 3 or 4. And he said, I have no interest in doing 3 or 4. I only have interest doing GoldenEye, which I was contractually obligated to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do that one, but after that, I'm not signing. I'm done. I've moved on in life. I've become famous for other things besides James Bond. And they decided no. They just said, well, we want a guy for 4 or 5 movies, so we're just going to move on.
Yeah. Well, we watched it. I really enjoyed the movie. The plot was, it's his first mission as James Bond, Timothy Dalton. He's... First, he has to organize the defection of a top Soviet general. When the general is recaptured, Bond heads off to find out why an ally of General Kozkov was sent to murder him. Bond's mission continues to take him to Afghanistan, where he must confront an arms dealer known as Brad Whitaker. Very Afghani name, but he was American anyway.
Yeah. And
everything eventually reveals itself to Bond. Yeah, we watched it here a week or so ago, and I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I did. It was...
I thought it was really good.
All the way through. It was very good.
All the way through.
Yeah.
I thought Timothy Dalton played a very good Bond. He wasn't over the top stupid.
No.
Like some of these coming up. And, I enjoyed it. And I wish I'd have seen him sooner, and I still need to see License to Kill, and I think we'll watch that here.
Yeah, we will. That's definitely on the list, and maybe we'll cover it a little more in depth. I have not seen License to Kill either, but I'm excited to see it after seeing
Living Daylights. The writing was good. The whole movie was very good.
Even
I would recommend this one
the Bond girl was good too. She wasn't ditzy Bond girl. She was actually a pretty capable and intelligent, mostly intelligent woman. I mean, you know what I mean? A lot of these, especially a lot of the old ones, and even some of we'll get to some of them.
Yeah.
You got like the ditzy Bond girl, and it's, times have changed. I don't always feel comfortable or like that anymore, and I'm glad they didn't do that for as much in this one. She had her moments.
Yeah, well, that's the plot. I mean, that's the writing or whatever,
But for the most part, she felt like a capable, functioning human being, unlike some of them. But I really enjoyed it. I hope I am actually looking forward to seeing License to Kill. That's not one we're going to cover heavily because we don't know it. I'm not going to lie and say, this was one of the best movies I've seen. I honestly don't know.
Either, but...
And Living Daylights is one because it is the one of his I've seen. And License to Kill is 2 because I haven't seen it yet. And it's nothing bad against the movies or anything. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the plot of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought and it moved along.
Yes, it did.
It didn't get boring. Some of these Bond movies kind of, like halfway through, I'm grabbing my iPad or something to look at something else.
And I'll look over and I'll see it on the iPad.
I'm not too interested in this anymore. Let's kind of Yeah, but I'll watch it, kind of one eye,
Yeah.
but uh, I like this movie a lot. And
Yeah.
I think Timothy Dalton stands on his own as James Bond. I don't think he tried to emulate any of the previous guys or he did it his way, I
Yeah.
think, and I think he did a great job. And I don't know why I missed out on those. I'd always heard that he only did two movies because he wasn't any good.
Yeah, that's just an internet lie. Well, like a pre-internet lie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not true at all. Yeah, I think he was a good Bond, and that's a good movie.
Yeah. So once you read the real reason, you're like, oh, that makes sense, And it sucks because I think it really shook up my order of Bonds. It really did.
It really
watching
did.
that
Yeah,
movie.
I was kind of surprised. Yeah.
I'm actually rethinking my order of James Bonds here. But
Who's the better and who's the worse? Yeah.
yeah. And License to Kill, like I said, we haven't seen that yet. That one came out in '89, the year my brother was born. Right?
Yeah.
89? Yep.
89. Yeah.
I was 7 when The Living Daylights came out, and they wanted to do it. They did. The thing I like too about The Living Daylights, and what I don't like about the ones we're going to get to, they never relied too heavily on his gadgets.
Exactly.
They let
That's
him be
what I
Bond.
like.
The
Yeah.
gadgets helped him be Bond. They didn't identify him as
And
Bond.
the gadgets weren't ridiculous,
No.
which we're coming to see.
Oh, we're gonna get there. Yeah, don't worry. There's some. I have
Yeah.
a lot to say about
Yeah.
Brosnan, and
Yeah.
I've watched every one of those. I know those pretty well.
I have not, so
But
I don't think I have. Maybe I have.
you have. They're just. We'll get there.
Yeah, License to Kill I've never seen. The plot of it looks pretty good. Bond is on possibly his most brutal mission yet. His good friend Felix Leiter is left near death by a drug baron, Franz Sanchez. So I know I've never seen this because none of this is familiar.
Yeah.
Bond sets off on the hunt for Sanchez, but not everyone is happy. MI6 does not feel Sanchez is their problem and strips Bond of his license to kill, making Bond more dangerous than ever. I don't know how you can make him more dangerous by taking
I don't
away his
know.
license to
Yeah.
kill, but we'll have to watch it and find out.
Yeah.
Bond gains the aid of one of Leiter's friends, known as Pam Bouvier, and sneaks away into the drug factories which Sanchez owns. Will Bond be able to keep his identity secret? Probably not. Or will Sanchez see Bond's true
I
intention?
did see that article I read about the lawsuit. It says everybody's they started off with the greatest spy that the internet has voted most likely to tell you who he is right away is there's a story behind this guy.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, I'll probably watch this movie here pretty soon.
yeah, I do want to sit down and watch it because I really like The Living Daylights. Like that again, it shifted things for me. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I enjoy this movie,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure this one's pretty good as well.
Probably. Yeah.
And so we're gonna move from License to Kill because of the lawsuit. They were in a hiatus for a long time. They didn't start filming this until '94, where it was supposed to be Timothy Dalton's movie GoldenEye, but instead he backed out because he didn't want to do any more movies, and they brought in Mr. Pierce Brosnan. I will say this: he is Roger Moore 2.0.
I said that when we were watching the movie.
Yeah.
GoldenEye. I said, yeah, this
I agree.
is Roger Moore 2.0. He-
His
Plays is exactly the same.
Oh yeah, 100%. Doesn't even. That's what I liked about Craig and Timothy Dalton. They looked at the two iconic guys and they made it. They said, "Let's do it our own." My problem with Brosnan is he is too much Roger Moore. Always kind of has been my problem with him.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of felt that way a little bit. I thought he was a little bit more serious, but now seeing him again, I'm like, oh no, he's very much Roger Moore. He's
But anyway,
all the way.
GoldenEye, I kind of like this movie. The
Yeah.
plot is pretty good. A deadly satellite weapon system falls into the wrong hands, and only Agent Bond can save the world from certain disaster. Armed with his license to kill, Bond races to Russia in search of the stolen access codes for GoldenEye. Excuse me. An awesome space weapon that can fire devastating electromagnetic pulse towards Earth. But 007 is up against an enemy who anticipates his every move, a mastermind motivated by years of simmering hatred. Bond also squares off against See, this is where we get stupid again. Xenia Onatop, an assassin who uses pleasure as her ultimate weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think overall this was an okay movie. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I do.
I'd seen it 2 or 3 times. And
It's my number one for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the goofiness is back.
Yeah.
You know, some of the Roger Moore cliche sexual innuendo and
Everything.
And-
Now, I will say she was my favorite Bond girl until we'll get to that one much later. I liked her a lot. I always, when I was a kid, like 15-year-old Nick was like, man, I can't remember her name in the movie.
I can't either. I didn't write the plot or the actress of the actor.
But I always liked her. I liked her character. I mean, she's very, very beautiful woman, but I liked her character. And she, again, wasn't, they did a good job at not making her the ditzy Bond girl. And there really wasn't. It just, Xenia Onatop was a little overboard.
Yeah, a little overboard with the name. But
Yeah, and using sex and squeezing her partners until she climaxed was a little on the weird to me. I don't know. It just was like, are you trying? What are you trying here? You know, I don't understand. I'm not a prude, but that just seemed it seemed to fit James Bond to me.
I think overall, this one's kind of in the middle of the pack for me.
Mhm.
But of the Pierce Brosnan movies that I've
This is-
seen, this is probably the best one. And some of it has to do with the plots, I think, in these Brosnan movies. They kind of retread
A lot.
a lot. You know, they don't exactly follow the movies, the originals. I call them originals. But they use a lot of the ideas and
Which will bring us to Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never
which
Dies.
is Russia with Love 2.0.
yeah, and Russia with Love is a better movie, I think. I did
Yeah.
not like this movie.
Yeah.
There was very little of it. I started. Let's do the plot.
Okay.
Agent Bond is on a mission, which includes a media tycoon, his former lover, and a Chinese agent. Elliot Carver, played by Jonathan Pierce.
Good actor.
Price
Yeah.
wants to complete his global media empire, and that part of it started out good for me.
Mhm.
But in order for this to work, he must achieve broadcasting. He must achieve broadcasting rights in China. Spoiler.
Yeah. it
Carver
is.
wants to start up World War III by starting a confrontation over British and Chinese waters. Bond gains the help of Wei Lin, played by Michelle Yeoh,
Yao.
Yao,
Yeah.
on his quest to stop him. But how will Bond feel when he meets up with his former lover, Paris, who's Terry Hatcher, who is now Carver's wife?
Now I will say acting, this was well acted. I just think the writing was not good.
The whole thing, I mean, well, let's talk about gadgets.
Yeah, over the top.
Over the
Oh,
top
my
stupid
God.
gadgets. That car.
It
That
was
car
not an Aston. We'll start there.
No, it was a BMW, but I think all of the Brosnan movies, he has BMW. No, not the BMW is a bad car, mind you. I like
The
BMW,
last
but
one,
they're not
he
Bond
has
cars.
He has the V12 Vanquish
Oh,
in the
okay.
last one.
Okay.
I don't remember World Is Not Enough which one. I think he had one of those stupid little Z Roadsters again.
I mean, those are nice little cars. You know, for me or you to drive around. I mean, they're fine, but for James Bond, no, he's got
needs
to be a supercar. You know.
He needs a $200,000
And that thing has so many gadgets on it, it would have weighed 50 tons, you know? I mean, there's no way, you know?
And everything, okay, Timothy Dalton, the gadgets helped in some way, but they didn't get him out of every situation. This Bond, in this movie, Brosnan would have died so many times if it wasn't for these stupid gadgets. Like nothing, like he didn't have to use any brain power.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like Batman
that's
has awesome
true.
gadgets,
That's
but Batman's
true, yeah.
also a genius level intelligence and figures out how to beat you.
Yeah.
Where this one to me, it was like, yeah, we know James is smart, but we're just not going to let him be smart, and we're just going to use a gadget to get him out of everything.
Yeah. And to me, where I lost it was when he's driving the car from the back seat with the remote control flip phone thing.
Yeah,
That was it. That was when I said, okay.
checked out.
Checked out.
You know what was funny is that this one was number one because I remembered it way fonder than because again I was a teenager, And then when I sat down and watched it with you, I'm like, GoldenEye is a better movie. So I had that's why now GoldenEye is number one. I put this one as number two because it's kind of a toss up after GoldenEye.
Well, I didn't rank the rest of them because, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the rest of these.
Yeah, I can.
The best actress in them is Dame Judi Dench, playing M in these movies.
I mean, Michelle Yeoh was great, but she's also.
she's okay,
I mean, she is known for. I mean, she just won a Best Actress for a movie she was just in. But fantastic actress, but she's a martial artist.
Yeah.
And she's from Beijing. I mean, she's, I think, Beijing or Hong Kong, one of the two. But she's not even that. She's from, she's not even Chinese. She's, is it Milan? No. It's in that area.
Milan's
That's Italy. I'm trying to think of where she's from. And, damn. I'll have to look. I don't have my phone. Oh, yeah, dude. Hopefully I don't screw up the mic here. Bear with me.
But, yeah, I just didn't like that movie at all.
Yeah.
It started out okay, and I like the idea of the plot, the big media tycoon guy and whoever played him, Jonathan Pryce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought this was pretty good, his acting is good, etc. But when this movie got going, I was like,
Malaysia. She's from Malaysia.
oh, Malaysia. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this movie's...
But she moved to China I guess her family moved to China. So yeah, but she is great. Always, in most movies she's in, she is never the problem. And again, they had I liked it, the strong Bond girl. She's strong. I mean, she's freaking martial artist for Christ's sake. She's you can't make her a ditzy. You can't do it. And there's a story about this one. In film school, my writing teacher, Jeffrey Howard, was pitching a movie. Him and his writing partner were pitching a movie to MGM. I think it was MGM at the time, but the producer for the Bond series, United Artists, was there. He pitched this movie. No, it was Ron Howard. He was with Ron Howard. He pitched this movie. They had it written, everything, pitched the movie. They said, okay, we'll hold on to that. Well, the producer for Bond went over, they changed the names minorly, and they made the movie.
Yeah.
And he sued the bejeebus out of them. And of course, they lost ultimately. So he gets royalties off of this movie for the rest of his life. I think they got like $5 million between the two of them. Yeah, and it was just really funny.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he told us that story, and I thought, really? So you look it up, and it's in there. He's in the credits, as a writer. He's in the writing. He got writing credits for it because they had to put him in there. He wrote the friggin' movie. And he said some of the lines that were said were in that movie. And he goes, you know what really sucks? He goes, I never really liked the movie. I thought, damn, I wrote this shit. He goes, but it made me rich. So, hey, why not? Yeah, at the end of the day.
But yeah, I mean, this movie to me, if I had, I don't know, these are all equal.
Yeah.
These last three to me.
I agree. I 100% agree. The best thing about The World Is Not Enough is Garbage does the opening song for it, and it's awesome. That's after that.
Song, actually.
It is. Yeah.
And I like the beginning of it. I thought this was going to be a pretty good movie. And then he's driving around with a remote control car and then doing something else.
It's just not good. I don't care for it. Not a fan. Never. And not a fan of World Is Not Enough, his next movie. I really didn't like it. I thought the actress sucked. Denise Richards. She's gorgeous, but she is not a good actress. 1999's World Is Not Enough.
Yeah, let's see. James Bond is back. Yeah, of course. After an oil tycoon is murdered in MI6's headquarters, Bond is sent to protect his daughter. Renard, Robert Carlyle, who had a bullet lodged in his brain by a previous agent, is secretly planning the destruction of a pipeline. Bond gains a hand from research scientist Dr. Christmas Jones, who is Denise Richards, who witnessed the action which happens when Bond meets up with Renard, but Bond becomes suspicious of Electra King, who is Sophie Marceau, especially when Bond's boss, M, Judi Dench, who is fantastic,
always
goes missing. Bond must work quickly to prevent Renard from destroying Europe. I saw this movie, I know I did, but I even looked at the trailer just a few minutes ago before we started this, and don't remember.
I remember when we watched it, your first words were, "That woman can't act." with Denise Richards, and acting was never. I know it sounds mean, but you watch Starship Troopers. She was never a good actress, and she was fine. I guess she's okay. She would have been like a good 90210 type actress, but outside of that, she's not. I think most of those actresses might be better, but I was never a fan of hers. She's gorgeous, but yeah, that was about it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this movie either.
No.
So, gadgets again? I don't know. I don't remember.
I
so much.
I think they were over relying again. They usually
Yeah.
were. These Pierce ones were, because we'll get to this next one here, which was his last one, which I saw in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I went with John,
Hmm.
or maybe it was Matt. It was one of the two. I don't know. John's practically a brother, so it's like getting confused.
Yeah, Die Another Day, 2002.
Yeah.
So, we're living here. That's what
Yep.
Yeah.
Die Another Day.
Okay, Pierce Brosnan gets one last mission as James Bond 007. Starting off in North Korea, Bond is betrayed and captured. 14 months later, Bond is set free. Of course he is. But traded for Zhao,
Who's a really good actor himself, actually.
Rick
Rick
Yoon.
Yoon. Yeah, he's
who
very
is
good.
captured by MI6. When back in his world, Bond sets off to track down Zhao. Bond gets caught up in yet another scheme, which sends him to millionaire Gustav Graves. Toby Stevens.
Don't know him.
Yeah. Another MI6 agent known as Miranda Frost.
She's a good actress too.
Rosamund Pike
Yeah.
is also posing as a friend of Graves. Bond is invited to a presentation held by Graves about a satellite found in space which can project a huge laser beam. Bond must stop this madman with a fellow American agent known as Jinx Johnson. Holly Berry. Oh, yeah, Holly Berry. Okay, I remember this one now.
Mhm.
Holly Berry. Yeah. Bond tries to stop Graves and Zal. Will he finally reveal who betrayed him? Holly Berry's good.
Every actor in this was actually a
Yeah.
very good actor.
Yeah, Holly
Again, I think it's writing. I just don't think it was that good of a. It just wasn't a good movie. I remember watching the theaters, and the freaking "Die Another Day" song from Madonna came on. You want to talk about entirely too long? I was done by the time maybe that's what did it for. I was never a Madonna fan, so when it got to the movie, I was like, "Holy shit! Thank God that's over!" Right? And then now I'm watching the movie. I'm like, "Oh, I know that guy. He's a great actor. He's a good actor." And after, I'm like, he finally gets his Aston, by the way,
Mhm.
and then they make it go invisible.
Oh, okay.
So now he's driving through the snow, invisible car.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got the car. The car's right. And it was a gorgeous car. V12 Vanquish is one of the best looking cars in the world ever made. And it's like, okay, got the car right, but now everything else is just not there. And
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
I don't know if it's Pierce Brosnan or if it's whoever was writing these movies.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
It's not well written.
Yeah. I vaguely remember this movie, and I remember Halle Berry.
Yeah, she was good at
She's
it.
quite
Yeah.
good in just about everything I've ever seen.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, she was coming off the Storm in the X-Men movies.
Mhm.
And I mean, she's been around. I mean, Swordfish. You want to see one of her best movies? Just watch Swordfish. There's also other reasons why.
yeah, yeah.
She was a little topless in the scene. But
She
no,
is
she's
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
and
beautiful.
she's great. And she's good. And so is Zhao there, Rick Yoon. He is good. And the woman there, Rosamund Pike, she is good. The acting is good.
Mhm.
It's just the story sucks. And the villain, I didn't like the villain either. I thought he's kind of lame. And I'm tired. And by the time you got to this one, I was tired of laser beams because Weston Martin shit on that stuff so hard.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, yeah. So it that affected my thoughts on the movie then because he's like, yeah, it's always a freaking laser beam from space that they're and
Or some kind of space weapon here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. So that was.
I didn't like it very much.
I really didn't like any of these that much, except maybe GoldenEye, and even then I would rank that as the lower end of
Yeah.
all of the Bond movies, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to rank all of these from top to bottom. I don't know if you want to do that.
That might be real hard to
That
do.
might be hard to do, but
well, I really like Timothy Dalton. I highly recommend
I do too.
The Living Daylights. That is a really good movie. GoldenEye, if you're going to watch Pierce Brosnan, watch that one. That's his only good one because they weren't so gadget heavy. The rest of them, they were over the top as hell.
yeah.
I liked them, but it is what it is. Move on. But you could probably skip those and watch some of the early Moores and the early Connerys, and then the Timothy Dalton one, and then we'll get into Daniel Craig next week, and you're good. You got everything you need for James Bond. Just watch. Really, you could watch Dalton, some of Moore's, some of Connery, and then bring yourself to skip over the Brosnans, bring yourself up to Daniel Craig, and you're good to go.
You know, it's funny when we started this little project, I thought I really liked Sean Connery. Roger Moore's okay. And I'm probably going to like the Pierce Brosnan ones.
Yeah.
And
It just didn't happen.
It didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
You know, the Timothy Dalton is way better than Pierce Brosnan. And,
100%. Yeah.
And I don't know.
And
I'm
I
a
like
little
Pierce in
surprised.
other movies. He's good in
Oh,
other
yeah,
movies.
he's not a bad actor.
No,
It
it's just, it just didn't work for me.
just didn't work in this. I don't think he was a very good James Bond.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going to rank James Bonds, which we will.
Well, we will.
Next week.
Yeah, next week we're going to
I
do
think
that.
we'll figure out who the best Bonds are. And,
I mean, I have not watched anything that has totally moved my number one, but it's really shaken up my two under, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but that's all I have for this one. I'm sorry, it's not a very long podcast.
It's not a very long
Yeah.
one because the movies just weren't
Just didn't bring us there.
good. They didn't, you know, and I thought if GoldenEye is good and we watch Tomorrow Never Dies,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought if that one's good, we'll watch the other ones and then we'll be able to do a
Good.
proper review of all of these movies. And I couldn't bring myself to watch
I had
another
no
Pierce
interest.
Brosnan
Yeah,
movie.
after
No way.
watching that,
And we just didn't
Had
have
no
time,
interest.
or just didn't have the kind of Bond burnout a little bit to
Yeah.
watch License to Kill. But I will watch that movie.
yes, that's on. I'm putting that definitely on the list. That is I'm really interested in it because I liked Living Daylights so much, and yeah, definitely liking that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week is our final Bond. It is
Yay.
Mr. Daniel Craig.
I think I'm getting a little burned out on Bond, so
Get a little
probably
burned out
need to
on Bond.
wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up next week on Bond
Okay.
here. You know, there's a lot to it. I mean, a lot of movies. One of the biggest franchises ever. And we're going to bring it home next week. So, you know what? No more Bond talk for us for a little while. Probably won't even look at a Bond movie for a little bit.
You'll probably not watch any of them for.
I mean, we know Daniel Craig very well. I do. I think
do
the only
too.
one you haven't seen is No Time to Die, and you don't need to see that. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen all these, and we'll talk about them next week.
All right.
Because,
But yeah, like, subscribe. You know, we do this for fun, but it still helps the algorithm, gets us out there. We're getting out there a little bit more, it looked like this week. So
yeah, we had a pretty good
touch more for us, a touch more, you know. And
viewership this week. So
so I always like, subscribe.
yeah, and if
share.
you disagree with us, you know, let us know.
Yeah.
Because you know, we like to hear from people.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we do this. You know,
And then I'll definitely tell you, you may want to go watch those Pierce Brosnan ones again, just in case. If you don't, if you think I'm wrong and you were my age when they came out.
yeah. I was. I think it was either GoldenEye or Tomorrow Never Dies, and that story I told in last week's podcast about flying home from
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, and they had the free booze.
Probably a
and
good thing you fell asleep.
And I fell asleep and didn't see the movie.
Yeah.
But, I'm kind of glad I missed it. I think it was Tomorrow Never Dies,
Yeah.
because the timing of that one is right.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I was very disappointed watching it again. So,
I was too. I was kind of looking forward to seeing it, and then,
yeah.
like I said, when he's driving the
The remote car,
car
I got
through
it.
the parking garage and being chased in
I
the
didn't
backseat.
remember the gadgets. That's the thing. Gadgets should help Bond, not make Bond.
Not take over the whole story.
Yeah, and they made Bond. And the stupid helicopter scene where it's going through the city and it's cutting up. Helicopters don't work that way.
No.
It's too far-fetched for me to go, yeah, that's a possibility. Now, there is one in one of the movies we're going to talk about next week where there is also an unbelievable helicopter thing, but they made it fun, so it worked.
Yeah.
But, that's it for this week, really.
Yeah, it's
a
kind of
nice
a
short
short
one, nice tight short podcast. Take me no time to edit this and get it out there, I guess.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening, and like I said, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll be back next week.
And
with our
share them
final
too
one.
if you like these. Share them.
Oh, please do, and we'll be back with our final one,
Yay,
Mr.
final
Daniel
one.
Craig. We're almost done.
Almost.
But then after that, we'll have to figure out something. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll
find something
figure
else
it out.
to do.
But have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
All right,
and
take
goodbye.
care, everyone. Bye.